Duelists, welcome back. Today I have a Mathmech deck profile for you today. I had originally wanted this to be a budget deck profile, but I don't know where the prices are at right now. I keep hearing they're getting bought out and bought out and bought out, and some crazy ones are getting to ridiculous prices, but I am pretty sure that compared to Splight and Tearlament, this is probably still the most budget option that there is. I am fairly certain you can get this entire engine for less than $100. I am praying that it's still like that every time I'm recording this. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I am still going to quote this as a budget deck because I'm comparing this strictly for competitive value next to Splight and Tearlaments, and I know those decks are hundreds of dollars just for their engines alone. So yeah, this deck is super competitive and super strong with Mathmech Circular, and yeah, I'm going to go over my deck list and go over some of the combos of lines that are really, really strong. So yeah, here's the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so we're going to just jump right into it. This deck obviously just got a huge power boost from Power of the Elements with Mathmech Circular. This card is ridiculous if you don't know what it does. You activate it in the hand, Foolish Burial Mathmech from your deck to special summon it, and then you can, if another one is no more special while it's on the field, you add a Mathmech Trap. So this is an extender, a starter. It also sets up OTKs extremely well. It gets your follow-up. This card is just overall insane. I cannot stress that enough. So, of course, we're going to start with the Mathmech engine, and we are, of course, going to be playing 3 copies of Mathmech Circular. We also play 3 copies of Addition, 3 copies of Subtraction, 3 copies of Sigma, and 3 copies of Diameter. So this is for the Mathmech monsters alone. This is what we're playing. I'm going to move this out of the way up here. These cards are all really, really good in their own way. I believe from what I'm hearing that Subtraction was the one that was getting bought out. This isn't really that big of a deal. Literally Edition does the same thing. It's not like the end of the world, but it's definitely good. But you don't have to play 3 of this by any means. If you're on like a super tight budget, you can just play whether it be more Parallel Exceeds or another Cybers level 4 extender. They pretty much are all the same thing. This being a Mathmech does come up because of the trap card, but regardless, you definitely don't need to play 3 of this. But I definitely recommend at least playing, if you have them, play 3. But yeah, all these other cards are pretty cheap from what I'm understand as of the moment. But yeah, these are all really good. Then we also have 3 copies of Parallel Exceed for the actual Cyberses. So Parallel Exceed, I was playing 2 at first, and then when I came to realize just by adjusting my extra deck a little bit, Parallel Exceed plus any hand trap is also full combo in this deck, which is super consistent. That is insane. So when you're playing this deck, you have to worry about consistency, just like building any deck. Of how often can you play in a X round tournament? So let's say it's like a 10 round tournament. You need to know how many times you can play throughout the rounds. So let's say you're playing 27 games for a 9-round tournament. If each one goes 3 games, you want the most consistent deck as possible. So having all of these, like these are all almost starters. Just being able to get to a rank 4 is a starter, so Parallel Exceed is really good. And any 2 of these is a full starter. Circular by itself is a starter. There's just so many different ways, and then like something like Silent Mining is also a really good starter. So this deck's super consistent is what I'm trying to say. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. This deck is super, super consistent. There's so many ways to start your combos. So that's it for the engine monsters, I would say. Now moving on to hand traps. This deck does play a lot of them because you can do a lot for a little. So it gives you a lot of room for hand traps. So you have 3 DD Crow, 3 copies of Ghost Ogre, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Veiler, and 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. So that is a lot of hand traps for this deck. By the way, this deck list is 42 cards, I believe. Just to keep that noted. So you have 15 hand traps in here. I am not playing something like Nibiru because Nibiru is not good against everything. A lot of decks can play around Nibiru right now. I might change in the future. Again, we don't know yet. Dark Lure might be in the main deck for the future. I don't know yet. There's a lot of variables with this format that we don't know right now. But these are the safest options right now that we can say. Crow is good against Splight and Tearlament because that's what we're really trying to combo and stop is Splight and Tearlament with like a side of Punk, I would say. So Crow is good against all 3. Ogre's okay, not that great against Tearlament, but it's definitely good against Splight, and it's also good against the Brave package. It's something to not forget in this format. Ash Blossom is obviously Ash Blossom. Effect Veiler and Imperm, I'll put them together, are both very, very strong. They're both helpful against something like Winda, because even on your opponent's turn, you can Veiler Winda and then resolve your trap card, which is super important. And then Imperm is obviously really good. Even as your 6th card, you can draw it. Just general effect negation is just very good at the moment. And we'll see where the format progresses, but as of now, I think this is a very safe option. Moving on, for the rest of the spells, we play 3 copies of Silent Mining. Again, this is just consistency, along with the Pot of Desire. Super consistent. Just seeing all the engine is just super easy to get to, and yeah, it's super good. And then for the last spell, we have one copy of Call by the Grave. This is just to stop any hand traps. This is also pretty good against Tearlament to stop them making something like Winda, and they're stopping their Tearlament plays, even against Splight, banishing Rodent Totem, or they're totally awesome. Call by the Grave is an exceptional card right now. Like, even as a 1-of, you should be playing because of how strong it is against every matchup. So make sure this is in your deck list no matter what deck you're playing. And then for the final 3 cards we are playing, we have 2 copies of Mathmech Super Factorial. This is the best counter right now to everything, essentially. Like, you give an archetype Trishula that is just ridiculous to do on your opponent's turn. Against Splight, that's insane. So the reason it's so good against Splight is because they need monsters on board and to be able to do their combos. So if you hit their monsters on board, they can't like summon more of them, because that's what the Splight archetype does. They just summon more if you control one. So as long as you're clearing the control, that's what matters. So you can activate Super Factorial to send away one, and then you can use the Nightmare Unicorn to send away another one. And then if you have any hand traps or anything extra like that, you can do more like types of interruption. But yeah, so super good card, and it's like your main interruption is just insane. And then the last card, main deck card I play is Summon Limit. This is for one combo where you can search a spell or trap from your deck, and I think right now this is the best one that generally covers everything between Splight and Tearlament, because you can flip this after their second summon and it would still lock them out, and that's super important. Just a ruling to know for that, so that even if your Tearlament player goes something like Reno Heart and then makes use the fusion to fuse, and then search for a Tearlament or send a Tearlament, you can activate Summon Limit and then stop their plays from there on. Now we're going to move on to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we have 2 of each Mathmech Exceed. These are both really good, and these reprints really made them affordable. So like I said, this keeps it very nice and budget for the most part. Just something to keep in mind. This one is the General Searcher and the starter for the deck. So like I said, Parallel Exceed plus any hand trap equals this. And then this can get the Circular, and then Circular is, combo by itself. And then this is what you make with the trap card, or you can make it on your own turn too. It's just so good to push, break, and interrupt. This card's nuts. And then even the tribute effect for this is also relevant, but you have to keep in mind the other effects, where it's only detached 2 to add a Mathmech, 3 to add a level 4, and 4 to add a spell or trap, and that spell or trap one we can do in this deck with Summon Limit. Also, just a side note, if you want to side deck something like Token Collector, you can use the detached 3 to add Token Collector if you're going against something like Sword Soul. Again, just something to keep in mind. Moving on, we're going to go into our Link monsters. We have quite a lot. This is the rest of the extra deck, and we have 4 Link ones. So we have 1 Link Disciple, 1 Link Devotee. This is just for the combo. Link Karibo, and Salmon Great Amirage. So some people play Link Karibo for this. I just prefer Link Karibo because it can protect IP Masquerena. Also, if you choose to play Appaloosa, this can protect Appaloosa as well. I just don't find Appaloosa to be good right now. A lot of decks can just get over it. Splight doesn't really care about it. Tearlaments can chain block around it. So that's just my opinion. I prefer Nightmare Unicorn because I feel like it does more. But it's just something to keep in mind. And then, so Amirage, like I said, for the hand traps is how you make your Parallel Exceed. This is for the combo, and yeah. For the Link 2s, we have 1 Update Jammer, of course, for OTKs, 1 Cyberse Wicked, this is part of a combo, along with IP Masquerena, and then 1 Splash Mage. So these are all pretty generic Cyberse cards. Wicked's your follow-up play, as well as something to go for IP. And yeah, Splash Mage is obviously just the best extender, and it's also used for 1 combo to be able to search out the Summon Limit, like I was saying. And then for Link 3s, we have 1 copy of Unicorn and 1 copy of Transcode. So Unicorn is the target for the IP most of the time. This is like your main interruption with it, because you want to be able to spin away a body, like I was saying, against something like Splight, and being able to spin away something like if they against Tearlament, you can spin away something like Winda or any of the other fusion monsters that they might make, like Kikalos, so that they don't trigger the effect. So I think Unicorn's very strong right now as well, and Transcode for the obvious Access Code Talker play, which was our last one. I know Access Talker has a hefty price tag right now, but compared to everything else in this extra deck, this is literally the most expensive card in here. So I mean, this is the by far the only expensive card in this deck, I would say, as far as I know. I don't know how much IP is worth right now, or any of the other main deck stuff. So I think you can probably get this deck for, I would say, less than 100, maybe 150 tops. You can also sub out Access Code for some of the other big Cyberse Link 4s. I know there's like Zoroboros that can get really big with Desires, especially. That's a good OTK card. It's just, there's just options, but obviously Access Code is the best one. It's very hard to replace this card, but just any big Cyberse that can attack twice, I would say, is very good. And for this deck, I actually want to show you my side deck, because there actually is theory behind it. There was just a side note I wanted to mention, that the other Mathmech trap card could be played in the main deck or in the side deck. The reason for this is because if Mystic Mine becomes popular, it is a main deck out to Mystic Mine, and it is also a general interruption if you already have the other trap card. So if that makes any sense, you could have that and the other trap, and that's 2 interruptions as well. You get a bonus. You can a Mystic Mine. Also, it's very good against Sploit again because it's a general interruption against monsters. You could just destroy a monster. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, I'm going to leave this out, and we're going to go straight to the side deck. So just for general back row removal, we have 3 copies of Twin Twister. Excellent card, obviously. Just for general back row, Mystic Mine, etc., etc. This is just nothing insane. And then 3 copies of Dark Ruler. Dark Ruler is obviously just nuts, this format, against literally everything. So I feel like this should be in here, possibly main decked, but that's up to you. And then for the other board breaking card, we do play 3 copies of Alpha. So Alpha right now is actually in a really cool spot where, so it being an inherent summon is really strong already, regardless of it being not a quick effect. So when they do their Sploit board of Elf and Toad, you can special summon Alpha, go to battle phase, attack the Elf, and then main phase 2 use Alpha to hit the Toad. Then they have to chain Toad, and it just outs that board by itself regardless. Yeah, you lose your battle phase, but it doesn't matter because you can set up your plays regardless. So that is just huge for Alpha being a 1-card way to out that. And they can't chain anything, so if they have like a window set up, maybe they can't chain summon the window. It's just, and it outs window too, like it's just so good. It being big is also relevant. There's just so many factors to this card. You could also play Pankratops, like I said, and I don't think Alpha's that expensive right now anyway, but Pankratops is also really, really strong right now for the same reasons. And you can use Pankratops in the battle phase that plays around Elf, so you can actually just beat over the Toad if they don't have Dupe Frog, and then you can use Pankratops in the battle phase to pop the Elf, and then that just clears that too. So just something to keep in mind. And then for the going first cards, we have the 2nd copy of Summon Limit because we want to draw it, obviously, a very strong card. We have 2 copies of Anti-Spell. This could be 3, but I actually don't think this card is that good right now, believe it or not. I know this is going to be more for like the tech cards of the format, things like Triple Tactics Talents and the new spell card Ultimate Slayer. But other than that, a lot of the new spell cards are quick plays, so they can play around this quite easily with something like Sploit Starter, for example. And then for the final card that I play is 3 copies of Appointer of the Red Lotus. I think this card's really good and underestimated right now. I could definitely see this card seeing a play in the meta, and especially in this deck for the reason being that you want to set up this monster with a trap card, and knowing where to interrupt your opponent with something like IP and a Unicorn and the trap card is super, super important. It really, really matters. And getting the diameter negate and knowing what to negate, like this gives you so much advantage, and you always end with a card in hand, so you never have to worry about that. You're always going to be able to reveal the extra diameter in your hand. It's just so much value coming out of this card, of knowing what to hit is super important, and taking away a card for essentially 2 turns. You should be able to kill them next turn with access code, and yeah, just it's very, very strong to say the least. In my opinion, we'll see how the format develops. This is still an unsolved format. This is just where I'm at right now. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the actual deck. I want to show you one combo. I feel like every other combo is pretty standard. There's just one combo I want to show that is to search the summon limit, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people may question. So I want to show you how to search the 1 main deck summon limit. So we jumped into that combo. Okay guys, so like I said, this is the add summon limit combo. So this is be able to lock your opponent out, maybe game 1, get like a free win, because a lot of people aren't main decking back row removal. So something like this could come up, and this is going to be the combo. You just need Circular plus any level 4 extender. That could be addition, subtraction, etc., parallel exceed. There's a million ways to do it, but this is all you need. And like I said, Circular is a 1-card combo, but then with 1 other card, this is what you can do, just a different option. I'm not saying it's always right, but it's an option you can do in your deck. So you're going to start off with Mathmech Circular, use the effect to send the Mathmech Sigma to your deck, to your graveyard. Use the Sigma to special summon itself, and then use Circular to search for the Super Factorial. This is super good because this is your interruption and your follow-up. Then use the addition to special summon itself to have Circular increase attack for what it's worth. We're going to link both of these off now for 2 link 1s. We're going to go for a Link Disciple and Link Devotee. I'm going to activate Link Devotee's effect on summon because you have to. Please don't forget that. Don't cheat. This is something that's important. You're going to activate Link Disciple to tribute Link Devotee to draw and rearrange your hand. So you get a draw and then put something back. I'm not going to do that for now, but it's just something to keep in mind so you get a little hand fix while you're at it. And then Link Devotee is going to summon your 2 tokens. Now you are going to use 1 token and your Link Disciple to summon out your Cyberse Wicked. And then you're going to link the other token away for Link Karibo. Now you can activate your Cyberse Wicked to banish either of the Link monsters in your graveyard, doesn't matter which one, to search. and this gets your Mathmech diameter. From here, what you can do is you can normal summon your Mathmech diameter, use the effect to special summon Mathmech addition. So here you have 3 bodies, obviously, and then what you can do is you can link away the Link Karibo and the Cyrus Wicked, still staying under that Link 2 restriction because of Link Disciple into Splash Mage. Using the Splash Mage's effect to special summon the Mathmech Circular back to your field, and now with 4 monsters, you can overlay all 4 for your Mathmech. Everyone calls him Albert Einstein, but you know, this guy, the guy who searches. And then you can use the effect on summon, which is protected because you use Mathmech diameter under it so that they can't ash it or anything like that. Detach all 4 to be able to add your very balanced, not game-ending cards summon limit. So now you have summon limit and the super factorial that you may use during your opponent's turn. Something else that you can possibly do, again, it is up to you. You can use the Albert Einstein to tribute the Splash Mage to bring back one of your guys, and then link both of them out for your IP Masquerena. That is depending on what your opponent has, because what you can do is use Super Factorial to bring back 3 guys, go into your Exceed monster, get the negate and the send 3 away, and then you can IP these 2 away into a unicorn if you need to. Again, these are all just options that you have. If you do not flip summon limit and you don't feel the need to, but usually you will, just remember that after you use super factorial, you cannot use summon limit, but you can use all 3 of that summon limit after. Just something to keep in mind. So overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this combo, and this is very simple, but this is just something that's cool that you can do that might be able to steal games from your opponents. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this deck profile, and this combo. Subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.